can you hear us? Good morning, Teacher Alo. You are muted daw eh. Hello, Teacher Alo. Good morning po.
Can you see me po? Ayan, there.
I can see you, pero medyo ho kasi, pasensya na, mas malakas ang ulan eh. Baka hindi tayo magkarinigan.
Okay lang po. I can hear you well po. Is that Lola po?
Yes po.
Okay po.
Okay.
Hello, good morning po, Lola. And good morning, Ethan.
Good morning po.
So, naulan pala dyan, no? But it's okay po. I can hear you well. That's okay.
Okay.
Alright. So, last Monday, hello, Ethan. I hope you still remembered that we started with a story about our character, Scott. And then what I told you about last Monday is that I think you can relate with our character for our story for today. So let me just, there, I'll adjust. So the title of our story is The Best Vacation Ever. And if you remember last Monday, right, we talked about it's Lola's like plan, or mommy and daddy's also, to put you in a tutorial this summer. So you like learn while you are on vacation. But then, as I asked you last Monday, you said it's not your plan, because your plan is to just stay at home and play. So in this one, we are just going back to here, to this one, to our story. So I'm gonna highlight the ones that we already finished, okay? So we finished this part, but I'm gonna read it again as well. Here, okay. I'm gonna highlight the blue ones, that means we are already done. So let me read it for you, just relax. Winter break was fast approaching, and all Scott wanted to do was go snowboarding. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with snowboarding. It's like, in the Philippines, of course, we do not have snow, right? But then I think I can like compare this to like surfing. Do you know surfing, like in the water? Can I see a reply on the chat or a thumbs up? You can show me thumbs up or in the chat like yes. I'm not sure if you see like the reaction. You can actually send me emojis like this one. Here. I sent a thumbs up to you. Can you see that? Here. There. Do you see my thumbs up? Yes, you do. Okay, that's great. So I want you to like show me like that, or like if you do not want to talk still, that's fine with me. But you can send an emoji on screen, or you can send a message on the chat box, okay? I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna open my chat box anytime. Alright, so snowboarding, it means it's like surfing in the water, okay? But in snowboarding, you surf in the snow, which is actually fun. Alright. Now, unfortunately, Scott's parents had different plans. So if Scott's plan for vacation is to do snowboarding, sadly, it isn't what his parents planned. Just like you during this summer vacation. It was Lola, Mommy, and Daddy's plan for you to have a tutorial this vacation, but that's not your plan. You plan to just relax at home and, just stay at home and play during your vacation. So for this one, let's continue with our story. Let's find out what will happen to Scott's vacation. So I'm going to highlight the next one. We are now in color yellow. Can you read the next sentence? I'm gonna wait for you. We are in color yellow. I'm gonna wait for Ethan to read the next sentence. Can you read this color yellow for me? I'm gonna wait for you.
He had a week-long tropical cruise.
Yes, that's correct. So, what the plan of his parents was a week long. That means if it's week long, it's from Sunday until Monday, okay? It's 7 days. Tropical cruise. When we say tropical, do you think it's for winter or summer? You can talk or you can send your reply on the chat box. I'm going to ask you again. They had booked a week-long tropical cruise. You have two options. Is tropical for winter or summer? I don't know if I have emojis in here, if I can use them. Okay, I'm gonna wait for your reply in the chat box. Let's see. So, week-long tropical cruise. They will spend 7 days on a ship. But my question is, what's tropical? Is that for winter? Or do you think it's for summer? Here, I'm gonna write it on the chat box. Winter or summer? I'm gonna wait for your reply. So remember, the plan of his parents is to have 7 days or a week-long tropical cruise. It's a vacation on a ship, inside a ship. I'll wait for your reply. Can you reply if tropical is winter or summer? Yes, very good, Ethan. Thank you so much for your reply. When we say tropical, that means it's summer. So it means it's actually a very different plan for Scott because his plan is to snowboard. When we snowboard, that's for snow, meaning it's for winter. But his parents' plan is to do a week-long tropical cruise. So when it's tropical, it's for summer. Good job on that one, Ethan. Let's continue with our next. I think I'm going to use a different color. Is that fine with you? So you know where we are. Next sentence is in color green. Let me just highlight. This one is a little bit longer, so hopefully it's fine with you. Can you read the color green? That's the next sentence. We are in color green. Teacher will wait for you. You can take your time. You'll start with Scott.
Scott hated warm weather and asked if he could just stay at his best friend's house so he could snowboard every day with his buddies at the local mountain.
That's right. Thank you so much for reading the next sentence, Ethan. So with the sentence that you read, in contrary to his vacation plan, Scott hated warm weather. That's sad, right? Because we are actually experiencing warm weather in our country. Because, right, we live in the Philippines. And what else? He wanted to just stay at home or stay in his best friend's house. Why? So they can snowboard together. And not just together. They wanted to snowboard together every day with their friends. So I think that's actually fun, right? When you have like plans with your friends, your best friend, or your classmates. But then, remember, that's Scott's plan, not his parents. So let's see what happens now. We already know what Scott's plan is for the vacation. Now let's go to check what's next. Again, I'm going to use yellow in the next sentence. This is just a very short one. We are in yellow. Start with his.
His parents did want to hear anything of it.
Oh. So in that sentence, I'm going to give you two options. Do you think that his parents are happy or mad? Okay, there. With the sentence that you read, his parents didn't want to hear anything of it. Are they happy about snowboarding or are they like, a little bit mad? Remember, they didn't want to hear anything of it. Okay, I'll wait for your reply in the chat box. We are in the sentence, his parents didn't want to hear anything of it. Let's see. What do you think? Are they happy about it? Or are they mad about Scott's plan for vacation? Can I see your reply on the chat box? Again, I'm giving you two options. Please choose one. Let me see. His parents didn't want to hear anything of it. Do you think that Scott's parents are happy or mad about it? Can I see your reply? Again, we are on the chat box. If you do not want to talk, I'll wait for your reply in the chat box. I put the options in there, your choices. Do you think they are happy or mad? Are you typing, Ethan? I'm waiting for your reply. If you do not want to type your answer, you can talk and tell teacher. Do you think they are happy or mad? Remember that his parents didn't want to hear anything of it. They are? So let's say, for example, Scott has been telling his parents, you know what, mommy and daddy, I really wanted to go snowboarding. I wanted to go with my best friend and then we can go snowboarding with our friends, our classmates. And then his parents are like, no, Scott, we do not want to hear anything of it. We have a different plan for you. So that means, are they still happy or no?
What's your answer? What's your answer?
You can put yes or no.
Type no. What's your answer? Type your answer.
Alright, in this scenario, Scott is telling his parents, this is my plan for the summer. But then, the parents are like, we don't want to hear anything of it, Scott, because they have, sorry for that, that's my toddler at the back, because they want to have a different plan for Scott. So I'm asking Ethan, do you think that the parents are still happy about Scott's plan for vacation? Yes or no?
What's your answer?
Are they still happy about it? Are you sure? They already said they do not want to hear about it.
Will they be happy then?
Let's say, for example, in Filipino, teacher will translate it in Filipino, ha? Ayaw na daw nilang marinig yung plano ni Scott. Okay? Ayaw na nilang marinig. Kasi meron daw silang plano para sa kanya. So, I'm going to ask you again. Are Scott's parents still happy about it or no? I'm gonna type again, okay? Here you go. You can put your reply. No, very good, Ethan. They are not happy about it. Why? Because it's like Scott is like telling them, this is my plan. And since, Scott is still a kid, he's a student, he's living under his parents, of course, he needed to follow and obey what his parents want for him for vacation. That's why they are not happy about it. They're actually a little bit mad because they already have a different plan, but Scott has a different plan as well. Now, let's continue what will happen. I'm going to highlight the next one in color green again. We are in green. Can you please read the next sentence?
Read on the next sentence.
We are in green. Please start with he kept.
He kept debating.
Oh, what happened? Oh, sorry. I touched our... Alright, there. Sorry. I accidentally touched our chat box, so it became big. And then suddenly the screen is not there anymore. I'm gonna share it again. Sorry for that. Okay, hold on. Let me just get it. Reading comprehension 1. So hopefully you can follow the story. You do not want to hear about it, so that means you're not happy about Scott's plan for the vacation. Because they have a different plan for Scott. So there, I'm gonna make it big now. There you go. Then just put it here so you can see the rest of the story. Alright. There. I'm gonna highlight where we are again. Please read this part. We are in color green. There you go. Kindly read the color green.
He kept debating them about the topic, but they would not change their minds.
That's correct. So in this sentence, he kept debating them about the topic. So that means Scott is really trying hard to persuade them that he should go snowboard instead of going on a week-long tropical cruise, right? But my question for you is, did his parents change their mind? Going to ask you again on the chat box. Yes or no? My question for Ethan is, did his parents change their mind about the week-long tropical cruise? Or no? I'm gonna wait for your reply. Remember, but they would not change their mind. So, even if Scott tried to change their mind, did the parents change their mind about the vacation? Yes or no? No. Very good. So even if Scott is really trying hard to persuade them, the parents did not change their mind. And I'm not sure if you can relate to that. Sometimes, we have things that we want, but then not all the time we can get it. Because let's say, for example, your parents or lola and lolo will say no. And you need to understand why are they saying no. That's because they have a so much better plan for you. That's why they said no. So let's see if the parents have better plans than Scott. Can you read the next one? I'm going to highlight it in yellow. This is this one until here. Kindly read the last sentence in the first paragraph. Start with family time.
Family time was important to them, and it was tradition that they spend winter break together.
Alright, thank you so much for reading that one, Ethan. So, according to the parents, family time was important to them. And I know that you also have a family time with your family. Can you tell me, let's say, when we say family time, that's the time that your family are all together. I'm going to ask you another question. When do you think is your family time at home? Is it during breakfast, lunch, or dinner? When we say family time, that means all the family members are at home and you are spending time with them. When do you think it happens on a day inside your house? Is it during breakfast? That's when you eat your food when you wake up? Is it during lunchtime, like at 12 noon? Or does it happen during dinner? When it's already nighttime and everyone's at home from, let's say, work or from school. Tell me which one from the three is your family time at home. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? I'm gonna wait for your answer. Okay, let me wait for your answer on the chat box. When do you think your family time is with your family at home? Because in each home, it's gonna be different, okay? Let's say, for example, in another house, maybe their family time is during breakfast. In other household, it can be during lunchtime. Or in your house, maybe it can be dinner. What do you think, Ethan? I'll wait for your reply on the chat box. You have three choices: breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Sige, return.
Ooh, breakfast. Okay, I'm going to ask Lola. Lola, why do you think breakfast po is the family time in your home?
Breakfast.
Yes po,
Kasi
sabi po ni Isa,
We're
breakfast.
all here.
But
not-
before,
Yung mga ano lang po, weekend.
okay.
But not
That's
yung-
actually nice.
Oo.
So that means weekend breakfast. That means walang work, sila mommy or
Yes po.
daddy,
Yes po.
si Lola and Lolo. And let's say, for example, kunyari may pasok ka ngayon. So that means if it's a weekend and on a breakfast, then wala ring school. Oh, that's a very nice answer. Thank you so much for that. So, in your house, your family time is during breakfast, especially on weekends. And that's actually nice because, right, it's actually joyful to wake up and then, let's say mommy or daddy, even Lola or Lolo prepared breakfast for you. And not just the food that you are about to eat. You are about to share the food and eat with your family during breakfast. And that's what happens in our story. According to Scott's parents, family time was important to them. So it's important to them for the family to be together. And it says here, it was tradition that they spend winter break together. So when we say tradition, Ethan, tradition is, I'm going to ask you, do you think if it's tradition, do you, gonna type it, okay? Do you do it every year or mm, not every year? There.
Did you understand?
This is my question for you.
Mm.
It says here, it was their tradition to spend winter break together. When we say the word tradition, do you think that the family of Scott do it every year or not every year?
Type your answer. Type your answer.
You can just put every year or not. There, you can type that one. So
Okay.
it's not really long.
Oh, sige.
Again, the question talks about the word tradition. What do you think is the word tradition?
What is the
Is
meaning of
tradition doing it every year or not every year?
Mm. Type it. Type it.
I'm going to wait for your reply. And remember, the tradition that they are talking about is for them to spend
Type it.
winter break together. Ooh, that's fun. So let's say, for example, you have a tradition at home wherein
Mm.
during Christmas Day or Christmas time, your family will eat dinner together at midnight, something like that. Now, what do you think is the word tradition?
Answer.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you so much for your answer. When we say tradition, that's every year. So I'm going to ask Lola. Lola, what do you think is your tradition po at home with Ethan during Christmas time?
Not Christmas, but during Holy Week, we go on a visita iglesia.
Okay, there. That's a very nice answer po. Thank you so much, Lola. See, according to Lola, it's your family tradition during Holy Week to do visita iglesia. That means you and your family will travel and you will go to different churches. I don't know, maybe in Metro Manila or in Laguna, something like that. So I hope you know that it's your tradition according to Lola. And in the story, it was Scott's and his family's tradition that they spend winter break together. Just like how you and your family do Visita Iglesia every year. Alright, so I hope that that's clear to you. I'm going to ask you this very quick question. Do you have any questions about the story so far?
Answer. You have question now?
Yes or no? There. So I'm going to stop in this paragraph. Again, we're doing it very slow so that I know that you can understand the story. My question for you is, do you have any questions so far?
Type your answer.
You can type your answer or you can talk to teacher if you want.
Ay, always dito lang.
Alright, so Lola, Ethan doesn't have any question. Teacher will remove. And that means we are now going to proceed with the next paragraph. So please remember that it's their family tradition. So that means every year they need to spend winter break together. Now, I'm going to highlight the next paragraph, but again, we're only doing one sentence for each. Let's start with color pink. So I'm going to highlight pink in the next sentence. Please read the color pink.
Read.
The week of the cruise arrived, and Scott continued to mumble his complaints as he and his family left the house to head south.
Alright, thank you so much for reading that one, Ethan. Now, according to this sentence, well, of course, Scott's plan didn't push through and he doesn't have a choice but to go to this week-long tropical cruise. When we say cruise, they will spend their vacation on a ship. Inside the ship, okay, that one big ship on a sailing on the ocean for 7 days or a week. Now, when they already arrived on the ship in the cruise, Scott continued to mumble his complaints as he and his family left their house to head south. Now, my question for you is, do you think that Scott is happy?
Answer.
There. Now, I want you to remember, Scott continued to mumble his complaints. When we say complaints, in Filipino, nagre-reklamo si Scott. And if he's complaining, do you think he's happy? Or no?
Try to answer.
Kapag, let's say, nagre-reklamo ha, meaning they are still, saying a lot of things. They trying to persuade his parents still. So, remember, Scott is complaining just as they left their house until they arrive to the cruise.
Return.
No, that's correct. Thank you for your answer. Scott is not happy. That's why he's complaining. So that's actually what we do. If we do not like or want what we are going to do, we actually complain. It's not just Scott, okay? Teacher Alo can complain. Ethan or Lola can complain, especially if they do not want to do it. Or they do not want to say or do things at that time. Now let's continue. What happened after they arrived in the cruise? I'm going to highlight in orange and kindly read this next, not really very long. It's the next sentence that we have. Please read in color orange.
Scott's dad told him that he would only make the vacation worse for himself if he didn't change his attitude and open his mind to a new experience.
That's correct. Thank you for reading that one, Ethan. So according to his dad, what's in here? Okay, here. He's only making the vacation worse because, right, not everyone is actually lucky to be spending vacation on a cruise, like going outside the house. Say, for example, other kids, if it's school break or vacation, nasa bahay lang sila, right? They're just staying at home. But other parents, just like Scott's parents, they want Scott to experience a different kind of vacation. And that's for him to be on a cruise ship. And according here, he needs to change his attitude. Right? Do you think here, I have a question for you. Oh wait, sorry. Wait, how am I gonna type it? Is Scott having a good time or a bad time? There, that's my question. So according to his dad, he needs to change his attitude towards this vacation. Now, what do you think is Scott's attitude in here? Do you think he's having a good time or a bad time when they arrive in the cruise? And what else? According to his dad, Scott needs to open his mind to a new experience. Just like you, Ethan, I'm going to ask Lola. Lola, is this the first time that Ethan will attend tutorial?
Yes po.
Online?
Yes po.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much po, Lola. So there, see? You are on the same boat with Scott. It's also a new experience for you. And according to the dad, you need to open your mind in a new experience. So, do you think that Scott is having a good time or a bad time in the cruise? They already arrived in the ship, okay? I'm going to wait for your answer.
Try to answer them.
The question in the chat box, is Scott having a good time or a bad time?
Bad time daw or good time? Bad time or good
Remember,
time? Oh, sige.
napagalitan siya nung daddy niya. He is? So, Lola, Ethan's answer is he's having a good time. If you're having a good time, why do you think nagre-reklamo or complaining si Scott? Right? Let's say, for example, oh, I enjoy this. But then, Ethan is complaining, Lola, I do not want to attend tutor. Mommy, can I just sleep and then play with my gadget during tutorial time? So, again, I'm going to ask you the same question. Is Scott having a good time or a bad time? Remember, napagalitan siya nung daddy niya, and his dad said, you're just making this vacation worse. You need to open your mind to a new experience.
Kahit ito yung answer niya.
Do you think that Scott is having a good time still? Hindi niya daw pinapalitan yung attitude niya, ha? He still, he still doesn't want to enjoy the time on the cruise ship. Kaya, nagsalita na yung daddy niya. So, is it still a good time or a bad time? Yes, thank you so much for changing your mind. I want you to understand why bad time. Because, right, he doesn't want to be in this vacation still. So, at first, it's still a bad time, right? Now, let's continue with the last one before we take our break. We are in pink again. Please read the last sentence and then we will take a break for 5 minutes, alright? Kindly read the pink one, the last one.
Scott still couldn't stop thinking about all of the snow he was leaving behind.
Yes, that's correct. So Scott doesn't, he's still not moving on.
Ay! Ano ba yan? This free meeting has ended. Thank you
Never
for
mind.
choosing.
Yeah.
Ano ba yan?
Oo nga. Magsisend ulit siya. Just like, balikan doon kay mama.
It's just like yung sa Monday.
Yung ngayon,
Ito ulit, ma.
yung po.
Na-edit naman yung ito. Haba na yun.
Kaya pa naman what happened? Nakapasok ka ulit? No. Kaya mo
Wait, oh there. Hello po.
Apo.
Okay, sorry Lola. Because
Okay lang po.
the meeting room po kasi is like, it has a limitation.
Okay.
Wherein after 30 minutes po, it automatically,
Shut. Nagsishut.
yes.
Okay.
nag-end po yung calls. Kaya,
Okay.
thank you so much for always coming back.
Sige po.
So, pag nag-end po siya, just go back po.
Opo,
Okay, thank you so much po. And, question po, does Ethan need to have 5 minutes break? Or not anymore? Pag 5 minutes break po, then, we
Huwag
can
na
mute
po,
or
para
close
tuloy-tuloy
our
na lang.
camera. And then,
Teacher, tuloy na lang natin. Para
wag na po?
Opo, para matapos na siya.
okay po. No problem po. Sige.
Okay.
So, no more break according to Lola. So, let's continue with this one. Wait, let me highlight first. Taas na ni teacher, ha? So, you can see the next paragraph. So, we stop in here. Sorry, pag nag-end kasi yung call, all the things that we did on screen will be removed as well. So, look. Scott still couldn't stop thinking about all of the snow he was leaving behind. So, that means he doesn't want to move on still from his original plan. And sometimes it happens, Ethan. Because we cannot accept that what we want is not what others want, especially our parents. But you need to understand that even if our parents, or let's say our guardians, even Lolo and Lola, even if they have a different plan, it doesn't mean that it's bad for you. Most of the time, it's really better for you. Just like this tutorial. They did not want you to just, for you to just spend your time at home, and then play with your gadgets or just, do something else. They want you to learn during your vacation, and that's actually really good. Now, another question before we end this next paragraph. Do you have any questions so far? So I'm going to put yes or no. Because that's a question because we are now in our third paragraph. Before we continue in the third paragraph, does Ethan have any question about the story? I want to know. Because if you have any question, then teacher can attend to it. If you have, you can address it to teacher. But I'm going to wait for your reply. Do you have any questions so far? We just finished the second paragraph.
So do you have questions? Sige, wait lang muna.
No, alright. So if you do not have any question, I assume that the story is clear to you. Now, let's continue with our next paragraph. We're now in the third one. I'm going to highlight in color green. This one in the light green. Green. Here you go. Until here. Can Ethan please read the one in green? We're now in the third paragraph. Please start with when they arrive.
When they arrived at the port to board the ship, Scott had a hard time admitting that he was actually impressed with the size of the ship.
Okay, when you read, the teacher is muting so that I can hear you very well, okay? And that you will not read any background noise. Now, thank you so much for reading that one. Now, in this part of the paragraph, they now arrive in the cruise ship. And I want you to understand this part. Scott had a hard time admitting that he was actually impressed with the size of the ship. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. When we say impressed, do you think Scott, I'm gonna put Scott. Scott is happy, or here. He was actually impressed by the size of the ship. I want you to understand that the word impressed means like that. Ganun yung reaction ni Scott, okay? So let's say for example, Lolas, ano pong mga hobby ni Ethan? Like, pag nakita niya po yun, mapapawaw siya. Can you share it with me?
Yung pag-YouTube niya. Pag marami siyang views.
Okay. Okay, there. See? Hilig po siyang manood sa YouTube. Is that correct?
Hindi po. Parang nag-vlog siya. Pag marami siyang views.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so there you go. So it's the same with Scott. For Scott, he was impressed with the size of the ship. Meaning kasi, pag nakakita ka ng ship, okay, wait, I'm gonna wait for your answer first. Do you think that Scott is happy or not?
Oh, type mo.
This time, remember, they already arrived in the port of the ship, and he's having a hard time admitting that he was impressed. Yes, he is happy. Because when we say impressed, you're like, wow! And according to Lola, you have a YouTube channel. Is that correct po?
Opo.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel. And when you're impressed, let's say for example, nag-upload si Ethan. Ethan uploaded a video. And then all of a sudden, boom! There's 1,000 views after 1 hour. So you're like, oh, what's that? You're also impressed. Like, how did this happen? How did they find me? So it's the same with Scott. But then, he's having a hard time showing it. And admitting that, wow, this trip is actually wow for me. And I'm going to ask you another question. If Scott was impressed by the size of the ship, what do you think is the size of the ship? Is it big or small?
Type mo yung answer mo.
Remember that Scott is impressed. He's like, wow. Imagine yourself seeing a ship.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, is a ship big or small? For Scott to say, wow.
Okay.
It is. And you know what? It's not just big. I just used the word big, but definitely a ship is gigantic or enormous. Malaki talaga siya. Right? I'm not sure if you already saw it on a YouTube video, but then if you can, later when we're done, you can actually search one. You can search size of a ship or maybe Titanic, something like that. As big as Titanic. So it's really big. Kaya wow, see? Scott. So it's the same with you. Now let's continue what happened after yung wow. Because you are right. Thank you for your answer. Because the ship is very big. So, di ba? Yung ship pa lang, the size of the ship, wow na si Scott. So, let's see what happens next. I'm going to highlight in color orange in the next sentence. Here you go. And I'm going to mute when you're ready. Please start in. He had
Read.
He had seen the
Brochures.
brochures, but seeing the ship in person was a whole different animal.
Ooh, okay. So look, we had seen the brochures. Let's say for example, di ba marinig ka manood ng YouTube? Lola, sino po yung favorite YouTuber ni Ethan? Yung bagang
Sorry po, hindi ko.
Ay, hindi niyo po alam.
Hindi ko po alam.
Alam niyo, okay, tatanong ko na lang po kay Ethan. Ethan, who is your, kasi po, di ba, maybe nai-inspire siya ng mga ibang YouTuber. Who is your
Yeah.
favorite YouTuber?
Who is your favorite, your friend? The one in Vietnam? Chen?
Yeah, so let's say, you get inspiration from this person, nai-inspire ka, kaya
Type mo.
ka naggagawa ng content,
Type mo yun.
right?
Type the name.
So here, the question is, who is your favorite? Later, I will also search for your favorite YouTuber, okay? Pag tapos na tayo on our session, teacher will also check. Sino kaya itong favorite YouTuber ni Ethan, right? I'm also
Type the
confused.
name of your YouTuber. Yung friend mo. Oh. Who is the favorite YouTuber?
So, your favorite YouTuber, most of the time, you watch this,
Chen.
right? You also show their video to Lola and your mommy and daddy. Parang like, oh Lola, look at this one. This is my favorite YouTuber. Something like that.
Oh,
You
sige,
share
type
it to
mo na.
them.
Type mo lang yung YouTuber name. The name, what's that? Chen Chen? Oh, sige.
Can I
Oh,
see?
sige.
Yeah, you can type your, I'm sure you know how it, what's the spelling? Tien. Is that correct po? Tien?
Vietnamese daw yan eh.
Okay, I'm gonna search for this one. And, Lola, what's about Tien? Ano pong content niya? Like, what's the name? Is he a gamer?
Is it a gamer ba?
Doing,
Manghihintay ba
I don't know,
yata eh?
martial. Ano po?
Actually, hindi ko talaga siya, parang binabanggit-banggit lang niya. Actually, hindi ko nakikita pa ang kanyang channel.
Oh, there, see? Oh, now, you can actually have a quality time with Lola. You can show Lola your favorite YouTube. Nagtatawa si Lola. Even Teacher Ala, sige, I'm going to search for that one. I'm also, like, I'm curious. What's the content of, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Tien or Tien? I don't know this one as well, Lola. I don't really watch a lot in YouTube because I have a kid and I'm busy with one kid already at home. Okay. Can you tell us what's the content there?
Oh, what's the content?
You can- What's the content of your favorite? Like, you can just say gamer or do they do food reviews?
Kahit ano
This-
siguro teacher ang mga yan. Kasi kahit ito si Ethan, maski anong maisipan niyang content, pinopost niya.
Aha. See? Even Lola knows the word content. I'm impressed. Alam ni Lola yung mga content na yan on YouTube. Actually,
lang po, konti lang.
that's very nice kasi like, di ba, Lola is, let's say, double or triple your age. But then, right, she knows what's content. She's actually updated kasi she's also interested with what you like.
Follower
Right?
po kasi
That's
ako
very
ni Ethan.
nice.
Follower, ma'am. Follower.
And she's not just, she doesn't just want to know about your content. Follower din pala siya. So, teacher is waiting. What's the content of this YouTuber, of Tien?
All sorts
We wanna know.
All
So that I
sorts
know
yata yun eh. What's the content of Jen?
See?
What does he do?
Tien. Oh, Tien. I don't know. With the word, I think, is this anime? Something like that. I don't know if this is like real life. Is it cartoon? Do they do? I like food reviews and vlogging. That's for sure. That's what I enjoy in YouTube. I wanna know. So teacher also knows something about you, okay? Para like I know something about you. That's the see. I'm actually gamer Lola, gamer.
Oh.
Okay. And okay, there you go. So how am I going to relate this with the story? Imagine Scott is seeing brochure. When we say brochure, yun yung paper like say for example, magta-travel ka, magbisita iglesia kayo ni Lola. And there's a brochure of all the churches that you and Lola will go to. Makikita mo yun dun sa brochure, may mga picture. But then, seeing the real thing, in real life, is a different animal. What do you think when we say different animal? So, ganito na lang. We can compare this to what if there's an instance wherein you will meet Tien in real life. Like, wow, it's a different animal. What do you think does that mean? Different, what do you think there? Does different animal means there? So, ganun ha. Same with Scott. Hawak niya yung brochure. Ito yung ship. Tapos nakita niya, wow. And I'm going to compare it to Ethan meeting his favorite YouTuber, Tien. In real life ha, meron kunyaring fan meet. Wow. So, what do you think? What does it mean for a different animal? Like, wow. What do you think does that mean? Kahit one word lang. It doesn't have to be a whole sentence. Kahit one word lang. What do you think a different animal means? So, look ha. He had tours, but seeing the ship in person rather, was a whole different animal. It's like, wow. So, ganun ha, I'm going to compare it when you meet your favorite YouTuber in real life. Paano ka makaka-relate? Like, what do you think a different animal means? Diba, sobrang wow yun? Parang napapanood mo lang siya online, tapos biglang nag-meet kayo. Wow. Super fan ka niya, follower ka niya, and you watch all Tien's videos, and then one day, may fan meet in the Philippines, and you were able to meet Tien, and that's a different animal. What do you think does different animal mean?
Do you know?
Sige nga.
Teacher, bigyan mo siya ng choices of words.
Okay pa. I'll put choices. Thank you, Lola, for your suggestion. So, I'm going to put you think... Okay, wait. I'm typing while I'm saying it. He's... okay, well, we can put the word impressed na lang din. So, we can use the words that we have. Impressed or not. There. So, if it's a different animal, is he impressed? Remember, pag sinabing impressed, ikaw yung mapapa, wow. There's a wow factor. It's like, di ka makapaniwala. Like, oh my gosh, is this happening? Something like that. Do you think that Scott is impressed with the ship in person or no?
At home, your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So I can compare this to you meeting your favorite YouTuber, ha? Do you think you will also be impressed when you meet them or not?
Return. Return. Return.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your answer. I got it. He is impressed because, of course, in the picture, sometimes maliit lang siya. Right? But then in real life, wow, I'm impressed. It's a different animal. So when we say different animal, it means we are impressed or it's a different thing. Like a different level. Like, wow. Say for example, kung napapawaw ka na with 10 online, what more when you meet him in real life, right? O, di ba? So that's what it means if it's a different animal. It's a whole new level. Parang akala mo wow na, but then you meet him in person and it's like, wow, you're like, is this really happening? Right? So it's the same with that one. Now, since we started early and there's no break, it's actually time, but we are not done yet, okay? So, we're not done yet and we're going to continue with it. So, hopefully, nag-enjoy si Ethan. I'm not sure, Lola, because cannot really see his face. But then, I hope that with all the things that we're learning in here, teacher is also learning about you, about your YouTube world and your content. So, with this one, we will finish until here. So, makikita mo yung picture nung sheep. And this one, on the screen. Ganyan siya kalaki. And we're not done yet. So, on Friday, Ethan, Lola, and Teacher Alo will continue with this story. So, thank you so much for today. And hopefully you learned and had fun with our session. Teacher Alo will see you on Friday. Thank you so much po.
Thank you
Ethan and
also.
Lola.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye po.
See? Tapos na.